You're listening to
the Vegas Tourist.com
podcast.
Oh, the pod.
Oh, that's what this microphone's for. Wow.
I thought it was just because I like to hear myself.
Episode 219, Black Canyon River Adventure.
Yay!
Woo, 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 woo. That's where we went this past weekend.
Yes, we did.
The actual name of the... Didn't know this. The full name of the company is Black Canyon Willow Beach River Adventure.
There has to be an abbreviation.
Black Canyon River Adventure, which is a float ride down the Colorado River.
It is.
Beneath the Hoover Dam.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in a second because the interview is with Beth Carden, who is the sales manager for them, and she's also a member of Las Vegas Territories. I've been having fun with the interviews. I've got 3 or 4 of them done now. Problem is once we get you get people in the tourist business talking shop. And you forget why we're even there to interview.
What were we here for?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, contact. How do they get a hold of you?
Focus.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you know them? Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that?
Do you remember the time that he did that? Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God. Let me tell you the backstory on that.
And same with Beth, because Beth, when I first met Beth, she was a tour guide. Mm-hmm. And then she got the sales position for Black Canyon. She moves out to Boulder City. And, of course, I love Boulder City, so we start to talk about that and all of the changes that Boulder City is going through.
And then we get into the history of Boulder City, I'm guessing, because love the history of Boulder City.
Well, yeah, because come to find out, she is a Hoover Dam aficionado.
Uh-oh.
So she's collected all this memorabilia stuff. Okay. When
do we go to her house?
Yeah. And then in the interview, of course, I asked the one question of, what's your favorite Vegas movie? And she pulls one. I mean, everyone else is like Casino, Con Air.
Right, the same 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls one out from the 1960s. And then she's like, okay, then my second one is this one. I'm just like, holy cow, talk about... Wow.
Yeah, I think we were, 2?
Yeah. It's like, remember that one? Yeah, sure I do. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Fine. Hey, remember when I took you down to Laughlin?
Which time?
I think it was this last time when we were there overnight. I think it was for the rodeo. Or the PBR.
You didn't commit. Oh, you didn't commit.
But I walked you over to the riverside, and when we were there, Don Laughlin was there.
Yeah, he walked through the Aquarius.
No.
It wasn't the Aquarius?
No,
we were in the casino.
It was the Riverside, which has the car.
The Riverside,
right, which
yes.
has the car museum. Well,
right.
The Riverside was the first property down there, and Don was the guy who founded Laughlin because it's named after him.
Right.
And he's like 87 years old.
Does he still fly his helicopter?
No, he gave up his license last year.
Last year?
Yes.
Well, I guess you just got to know when you got to hang up your keys.
Yeah. They celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Laughlin Riverside, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So mean,
he started it when he was like 36?
Well, 87 minus 50.
Wow.
Actually, he moved here earlier than that because he got kicked out of school in Minnesota for selling slot machines to the farmers.
Well, it sounds like down here is where he was meant to be.
Well, the story is that he was selling slot machines to the farmers in Minnesota and South Dakota, and he was like in 9th grade, and this was back in the 50s, and his principal pulled him into the office and gave him the whole speech of the evils of gambling, and it's going to take you down, and
it's going to take you down the evil road.
Yeah, and
sin, bad.
So it's like, okay, I will let you back into school if you stop selling slot machines. Well, in 1955, he was making $250 a week selling slot machines. In 1955, which was more than his dad was making.
Right.
So it's like, okay, it's your $250 a week or high school education.
Back then when you're young, and
yep,
that money's calling.
And then he moves to Vegas, gets a few odd jobs, and then starts to work in the casinos. And then his hobby was to fly airplanes, so he was flying around. He saw some land of a town that was abandoned, and he buys it. And even back then, he realized Vegas was getting too expensive. And so he thought, hey, if there was a nice place, because you have all these people, families coming out here to go to the Grand Canyon, to go to California, to go to Hollywood. Mm-hmm. You know, if they could just have a nice place to pull in with a camper, nice meal, a room, a show, something for the kids, that they would probably gamble a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Or at least a little bit, a lot.
Right, yeah. And, of course, people on the Strip went, well, that's a silly idea. Well, then when they started to see that he was making money, they went,
Well, and it was right on the river, too.
Yes.
So a lot of your snow bunnies and stuff, the idea of coming down and hanging out in a casino right there on the river's edge where you can rent a jet ski and hang out, get a suntan.
Yeah, suntan. Well, that is, it's close to Route 66. I remember when I was chauffeuring in Phoenix, and we had we were the only limousine company that was allowed on the tarmac. We could literally pull our car next to your private jet.
Ooh.
And pick you up. Yes, and Don would fly in there to play golf. So, okay. Apparently, there weren't any good golf courses in Vegas, and so I was at the fixed base operator where he would park his jet or his plane, and I stepped in front of him and said, Mr. Laughlin, I'm from Minnesota. Oh, how you doing? And of course, yeah, you betcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oofta.
And
still cracks me up.
And I told, and I said, okay, when I tell the story of you, here's what I tell them, and am I pretty accurate? And he's like, yeah. He goes, except, can you change one thing? I said, sure. He goes, when you come into Laughlin, there's 2 towers to the riverside. There's the original small tower, and then there's the larger tower, which is where I live. And I said, okay. And he goes, just when I got a divorce from my wife, she got the smaller tower, and I got the bigger tower. Just, okay. So she still lives there. She's just in the other tower.
Oh.
Okay.
And then I got the big one. She got the little
That's
one.
That's right. Vegas is having a little problem with shows closing.
Uh-oh.
We lost Jersey Boys. There's a rumor that $1 Million Quartet is about to leave.
No.
The new one, Pop-Up Vegas, is going away. Sin City Comedy and Burlesque is going away, which obviously a whole lot of people are like, what?
2 of those I hadn't heard of.
Yes.
So we didn't even pop our heads in to see those.
The scary thing is the rumor has it that Jersey Boys, the theater for Jersey Boys, will be temporarily filled with the Holly Madison show, Peep Show.
Really?
Now, if Holly Madison comes back, I will definitely go see it. But if they bring
the other one back,
bring the other ditz back that's married to Ice-T.
Oh God, yeah. So we saw her. We saw that show.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay, but
yeah,
it's just okay. I think I'd rather see Jersey Boys.
Right. Rather see what's out on the Strip than what that thing had.
Well, go back and see Burlesque again.
Yeah.
That show had a chance if they'd give it a little room to do something.
I am trying to line up a possible interview with a major show producer here in town, because I would really like to sit him down or sit her down and talk about what is going on with the shows, because they seem to be going more and more towards the 4-wall deal, which is not working.
4-wall?
4 walls, where the producer rents the show, rents the showroom.
Oh.
And the hotel may or may not advertise. Takes the marketing or takes the financial risk away from the hotel. Okay. And so they just rent the room for a flat fee, and if the show goes, the show goes. If not, well, we've got somebody else that'll come in here. And there's a whole lot of show, like the show Puppet Up, which is a adult version of the Muppets, which was backed by Jim Henson's son.
Okay.
Okay. It was probably a great show for Vegas, but it was not a Vegas show. You get these people. It's I go back to my business. People come into Vegas. We've been successful in New York. We've been successful in LA. We're going to take the same way we run those stores, and we're going to run it in Vegas. This is how we do the show in Broadway. This is how it's going to do in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And they come in here and they realize too late, Vegas
is not going to work.
Right.
Yeah, Vegas is different.
The way you market the show, the way the show is structured is not the same way it's in Broadway. It's not the same way in Chicago. It's not the same way in San Francisco. The Vegas market is just different. We are a tourist economy. People go to New York because they go to Broadway.
Yeah, they're looking for specific things
Right.
when they go to New York.
And while they're there, they're going to see the Statue of Liberty in Times Square. Okay,
right. And Central Park.
Right, but they're going there to see Cats, or they're going there to see whatever the new show is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They don't do that here in Vegas.
No.
They come here and go, well, what can we get a ticket deal on? Oh, that show looks interesting. Okay, let's go to that show.
And can it compete with the Cirque show? Right.
And because, again, we go back to the fact that 95% of the Strip is now managed by Ivy League accountants who have no clue to what a customer looks like. They just look at the books and go, right. Oh, this is costing us too much money. Let's stop it. Let's rent the theater out. Let's take away the risk.
Yeah.
And so that's
not smart. They should go down on the Strip one night, hang out with some people.
Yes. And then downtown, they are getting a esports arena in the Neonopolis.
A what? Where? Huh?
Huh? What? Huh? Huh?
What you say?
Part of the old movie theater down in the Neonopolis is being turned into an esports arena. Esports.
Please explain. Your wife is sports illiterate, so you're going to have to go above and beyond on this one.
What does your eldest son spend 90% of his time doing?
Video games.
Exactly. It's basically a big room with big screens, and you compete with other people, and they bet on who is going to win.
Oh my goodness!
War of aircraft or whatever it is.
Warcraft.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God.
Or they have games that they compete on. Well, instead of somebody on a computer in Las Vegas competing against someone on a computer in San Francisco, they're in one room, big screen, so that everyone can watch, and they have judges that score them.
Wow!
And they bet on them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's
only World of Warcraft is a worldwide.
Yeah,
thing, so maybe put them up against each other on football or baseball or boxing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because ESPN signed a major contract with a esports promoter, and so they have it on like their second or third channel, and it's very, very popular. And so it's like, okay,
You know what I'm thinking? We've sure come a long way from the Rock'em Sock'em robots that we played with when we were kids.
I always like to go into the Pinball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And against the back wall, they have the original video games.
Right.
And they have Pong.
Oh, God. I loved that. I loved that one.
And it's so funny because you see these men and women, they go in there and they see Pong and they're like, Pong! And their kids are like, really? We lined up 20 deep at Shakey's Pizza Parlor to play Pong. And they're like,
this is stupid, Mom.
that's tennis with,
It's not even tennis. It's a bar and a bop.
Yeah. But you don't understand. This is where it all started.
Where's the people?
Yeah.
How come we don't see a tennis racket? What? I don't understand.
Well, it's like us watching *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Yes.
They're the original online video games.
They're just showing that now, and we just watching it takes you back. We're aging ourselves. We should not do that.
Wow, 256K of memory. Oh God,
I can't give you that much.
What do you mean you want 8K more? We can't give you 8K more. What do you think this is? IBM?
God. Now, not only are you aging yourself, you're showing how much of a nerd you are.
My favorite one was Qbert.
Yeah.
I love Qbert, man. I dumped my allowance in them. It was just, wow.
You should stop now. You really should stop now.
The Unlucky Lucky Dragon, the Asian-themed casino and tiny hotel at the north end of the Strip, has finally announced their opening December 3rd.
Wow.
Right in front of Crack Alley. I just, God, that is just so funny, man. Those Asians are just going to not wonder. Oh, wow.
Blah, 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 blah.
I'm just like, wow.
Well, maybe they'll help clean that area up.
Yeah, right.
You get the Asian mafia in here, maybe they'll just go in there.
Where did the Vegas tourists go this past weekend with 2 grandchildren?
We rode down the Colorado River on a raft.
Was it a whitewater rafting, dear?
No, it was not. Although our grandson was very, very worried that it was going to be.
He got chased by a duck, okay? I'm sorry.
Hey, stop picking on him. He was younger. He's 12 now. He was mortified he had to wear a life jacket because it would not make him look cool. Yeah. I do not look cool in a life jacket, he says.
I like it. I'm not 12. You're not 13 either.
Well, the tour guide, he knew the ages.
Yes.
He knew the ages. We had 2 kids on the raft, 12 and 9. So anybody over 13 does not have to wear a raft unless they need to. Well, a life jacket unless they want to. And then the grandson, if I was only a year older, and I was whispering in his ear, then it would have been 14. You have to be 18 if you don't want to wear the life jacket.
Now, this is a 3-hour cruise.
3-hour cruise.
Yep.
You don't get to see Gilligan.
No. Although Marianne was topless.
Yeah. With a lot of her friends.
Yes.
That's not usually part of the tour.
No. That was a bonus.
Unless you have 2 grandchildren with you, where you have to put their caps down over their eyes and pray they don't see anything.
The actual tour begins at the base of Hoover Dam. This is as close as you can legally get to the bottom of Hoover Dam.
And it is beautiful. It is just amazing to see the dam and the bridge from the bottom of it.
Isn't that?
Yeah, we see it from the top all the time, but to get at the bottom of it and get to look up, to get those photos. Ugh.
And the water coming out of the dam is a steady 54 degrees Fahrenheit all year round.
All year round. Yes.
I froze my foot off.
You wouldn't even get in it, you big baby.
Hey, my foot was hanging over the edge. Okay.
Hey, I got in up to my thighs.
Yeah.
Both grandkids and the couple from Canada actually went swimming.
Okay. Couple from Canada.
Both grandkids, even the one that runs from the duck, went swimming. So he showed you up on that one.
That's going to follow him the rest of his life.
You're not going to let him live that down.
I'm going to find that photo, and when he finally gets married, I'm going to give it to whoever he marries to.
Yeah.
Here's who you're marrying.
Don't get a pet duck.
Anyway, they can pick you up at the hotel. They can pick you up at your hotel, or you drive out to the RV park at Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Check-in is at 9:15 a.m. We were back by 2:30 total time.
Yeah. It was easy, quick. You get a lunch with the tour. You stop. They do pull up to a sandy beach about halfway through it, where you get off the raft and you can get in the water if you want. You get on the sand. You eat your lunch.
We did this 2 years ago with my brother from
with
Minnesota.
The man who glows in the dark. He's so white. I don't think they have sun in Minnesota.
That day it was 117.
It was the highest temperature of the year.
This
Poor
time,
thing.
This time it wasn't so bad.
No, this time it was absolutely beautiful. I would say September, May and September would probably be the best months to go, unless you really want to go swimming.
Right. But again, you start at the bottom of the dam. First of all, they drive you down the road that started the first road down there to build the dam. That's how far this thing goes back.
Yep. And now it's a restricted road because of 9/11.
Right. But then you get onto this raft. We had the largest raft, which holds, I think it was 45 people. We had 30.
I think that's what he said, 45.
Yeah.
I recommend getting on the end, getting on the side, on the tubes.
Yep.
And if you can, get as close to the front as you can, because that's the view.
That and you're going to get wet.
But if you've got a tender backside, you can't ride a horse for long, I would suggest the center with the padded seats, because riding those tubes, does it hurt your backside by the time that 3 hours is over. Even the kids were complaining that their heinies were hurting.
It's a motorized boat. It's a military raft. We'll have photos up on the website, but it's a gentle ride.
Yeah, very gentle. We had a lot of all ages passengers on the raft, and including one extremely elderly lady who sat up by the tour guide. He kept an eye on her, but hell, she hung in with the rest of us with no problem. It's a nice way to spend 3 hours and get to see some beauty. We got to see mountain sheep twice, the bighorn sheep.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a turkey vulture flying over us.
Eyeing us up.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
We're all too big.
One of them might look.
I told the granddaughter. I said, "Up, she's good pickings." She goes, "I'm too skinny, Grandma." She didn't even know what a turkey vulture was. And then we had our group of nudists, about 20 canoes and
kayaks
coming up the river as we were going down. That was.
We had a raft that had done the postcard tour, and in the interview, Beth will explain that one, but she had passed us, gone down there, spotted them, and then radios us. You might want to cover the eyes up there.
Yeah, especially since she knew we had children on board.
But when you go down the Colorado through here, there's no development.
No.
Other than what was there when they built the dam, and then the measuring station that they used up until 1941.
I think that's what he said, yeah.
But then shows you the hot springs.
Yep. So a couple very large caves.
Yep.
With some growth, and it was a lot of interesting things. You don't want to give everything away, but
it's a nice leisurely tour. You can take it with your family.
Yep.
You are out in the sun for 3 hours, so just be prepared. Sunblock works.
They do provide all the water you can drink. Wet towels for you.
Cold wet towels.
Cold wet towels. They keep them wet for you. The tour guide is amazing. He's hilarious. very entertaining and very informative. So he gives you a lot of history as you go down. It was really a great time, a great way to spend time. And taking the grandkids was fun because they got to learn a lot of stuff that they didn't know, about their city. They live here. They were born here.
Right.
So to get to learn that was very good for them.
Well, it's always fun when you do a tour like that. We had 30 people from all over the world, and several of them were the atypical tourist first off the strip. Yeah, I've seen the dam.
Yeah.
I've seen the bridge. And then they're down there going, that's the dam?
Yes, and it was so cute because their jaws are sitting about their waistline. But you go down that 3 hours of river, and by the time you're done, you get off, you get in the bus to take you back to your car. They all fell asleep.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. We were on the ride back. You go over that bridge that you were just underneath, and you want to say something to them. Hey guys, this is the top part of the bridge. And I think there was 3 people awake to actually pay attention to, hey guys, there it is. There it is. Now you're on top of it.
Oh, okay. And again, in the interview, it's just funny because Beth being a former tour guide, her and I really had to edit this thing down.
From 4 hours to an hour and a half.
Yeah. Could not.
Tour guides are talkers.
Could not keep. I tried to keep us on track, but I kept going off track, and then she'd go off track, and then it's like, okay, let's bring this thing back around. But it's like people don't realize how even the locals. It's 45 minutes out there.
Yeah, and they don't. As long as I've lived here until I met you, I can't really say that. I did hike down to the hot springs once when I was in my early 20s. So I knew it was down there. I had done it.
Which hot spring did you hike down to?
I think it was the Boy Scout one because the Boy Scouts had created a trail down to it. Mm-hmm. And it was a 3-mile hike down and back. Okay. But I was young and dumb and didn't give myself, I was with 2 other people, and we did not take any lighting, anything for hiking. Yeah. We had no idea what we were doing. And when we went down there, we did not give ourselves time to get out, and it got dark. And when it's dark in the desert,
it gets dark.
You have no idea how dark it gets here. And it was December, so it was cold, and we had all jumped in the water in our clothes. So the water's really nice. It's 85 degrees. Mm-hmm. But when you get out of it in December and the sun goes down,
it's not
you're freezing. So long story short, we ended up having to stay in that water until early morning until the rangers came and found us. So that was the end of my hiking experience until I met you.
Okay.
I was sore for 3 days after that.
Well, it's funny because Beth and I kind of get off on that because she's a Jeeper. She has a Jeep.
Oh, no.
And God, I'd love to have a Jeep, because they're just...
I've been waiting for that nightmare to happen. I know the day is going to come. I'm going to pull in the driveway and there it's going to sit. And I'll be, oh, no.
Oh, you don't give me that. You see a Jeep in the driveway, you're going to be so freaking excited.
Well, okay. There's a part of me that's going to be excited and a part of me going, oh, no.
If there's a Jeep in the driveway, I'm getting lucky that night, okay? I know that.
By your wife or somebody else?
Yes.
Okay, we're getting off topic again.
Yeah, so anyway, this is the conversation. Beth is the sales director for Black Canyon River Adventures and whatever the full name of that.
Willow Beach, Black Canyon, rafting, down the river, something.
I had to do...
Ending at the bottom.
Yes. I had to do the intro, I think 3 times because she's like, you have to get the full company name. Well, I did. Black Canyon River Adventure. No, it's Black Canyon Willow Beach River Adventure. When did you add Willow Beach? Well, it's always been that. We just never use it because it's too long.
Then rename it.
Well, yeah, Black Canyon River Adventure. So here it is. Black Canyon River.
Say that again.
See?
Did they name it a tongue twister on purpose? Just, you can put that into the advertising marketing for it. Maybe that would, that could be a gimmick.
Black Canyon Willow Beach River Adventure. And here's Beth, and Miss Debbie and I will come back afterwards to wrap things up. All right? Beth, take it away. Mark Anthony here, the VegasTourist.com podcast, and sitting in beautiful Boulder City with fellow Las Vegas Territory member Beth Carden, who is the sales manager for Black Canyon Willow Beach River Adventures, the official title, correct?
Correct.
Everyone likes to have a long title.
Yeah.
How long have they been in business?
We've been doing the rafting tours in the Black Canyon for a little over 20 years now.
Where is the Black Canyon?
The Black Canyon actually starts where the Hoover Dam is built. Hoover Dam is actually built in the Black Canyon, but the actual Black Canyon National Water Trail is considered to run all the way down to the Techatecup mine area.
Oh, okay.
But our tour stops at Willow Beach about halfway.
All right. Now, we know each other from being tour guides.
Yeah, we do. We've known each other probably since 2002 or somewhere around that.
Yeah. Was tour guide your first job here?
No. Before being a tour guide with Pink Jeep, I was actually with one of the local ticketing and tour companies as the internet manager. And before that, I sold real estate for many years. And before that, I came here working retail management.
All right. Yeah, I know. When I moved here in 2001, Vegas was booming. I swear, everyone was a real estate agent. Everyone had a real estate license. It was like, I
was done with real estate by then.
What got you into doing tours?
Actually, after 9/11, the company that I was working for laid off probably, 20-25% of the management staff, including myself.
Okay.
So I took a little bit of time off and wasn't sure really what I wanted to do. Did I want to go back into real estate management, into retail management? And so I decided to be a tour guide just see how it was.
Okay.
So until I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up next. And that lasted 10 years. I liked it so much.
You also like hiking?
Yes.
Do you still...
I do hike. I'm not as much of the hiker as I used to be. I haven't done any overnights or anything like that in a while, or haven't been to the peak of Mount Charleston in 10 years.
Oh,
so.
Wow. Yeah, I know that feeling. Okay. Now, Black Canyon River Adventures is what I know it as.
Right.
You guys are kind of like the hidden gem, really.
And you're absolutely right. And the funny thing is, I'm not sure why, because we do ads in local magazines. We do ads in conjunction with some of our other properties in the area. I'm at all kinds of local events with booths set up and everything else. But we are. It's amazing how many people walk up to me if I'm at one of my booths or at an event and they're like, wow, we didn't know you existed.
Yeah.
But yet people come from all over the world to take our tour, literally.
What do you offer?
We have our main flagship tour is Black Canyon River Adventure. And what that is a smooth water narrated rafting tour that starts right near the base of the Hoover Dam. I mean, you're getting the best views of the dam ever.
You get as close to the dam as you can legally possibly do.
Exactly. And from there, we spend 3 hours going 12 miles downriver to Willow Beach, Arizona. We do make a stop along the way so you can get out and kind of either swim or just wade in the cold water of the river. We point out waterfalls and hot springs and old construction and the animals and just all kinds of stuff.
Well, I know when I tell folks that because, first of all, they're like, is it rapids? No, it's a float ride.
Well, it's a motorized float.
Yeah, right. And, and they're like, what do you see? Nothing. You see beauty.
Right. Well, I was going to say, you see a lot of gorgeous stuff that you had no idea existed so close to this area.
Yes. The only real construction that you see is from when they built the dam.
Exactly. Some of the things like the gauger stations were used after that, but they were started about back then. It's completely, you won't have any phone cell service. That'll tell you exactly how out in the middle of nowhere. Me too. Me too. And what a lot of people don't realize, it is actually now a nationally recognized water trail. It is now called the Black Canyon National Water Trail.
Really?
There's only something like 16 in the whole country, and we're the only one in the desert.
Wow. Well, I know, when I do it or I send my friends there, they come back with just that. It's like, wow. It's like, okay, I'm going to put you someplace where you're not going to get cell phone service. It's just going to be you and nature and a river. And you just relax.
Right, exactly.
Now, you also offer a shorter one, don't you?
We do. We offer a shorter one that we call the postcard tour.
Okay.
And what that particular tour is about an hour and a half long. It starts near the Hoover Dam Lodge. And what we do is from there, we drive you down to right near the base of the dam. We put you on the river for about 30 minutes, just right near the base of the dam, and then bring you back up. It's also fully narrated. And the reason we call it the postcard tour is because it is the best view of the dam and the bridge you're going to get. It is that perfect postcard picture that you're always trying to take. Yeah.
Well, it's fun because, you're at the base of the dam, and the only thing you can do is look up.
Right.
They're just something to be said to be at the base of the dam, and then they back the boat up, and you have to tilt your head even farther back, and you're under that magnificent bridge.
Exactly. And it's such a it's like I said, an hour and a half start to finish, 30 minutes on the river, but it's also the perfect addition to a Hoover Dam tour, especially if you're like a lot of us locals. You have relatives come to town, they want to see the dam.
Yep.
Everybody can see the dam.
Right.
Very few of them see it from the river.
Yeah.
So it's just the perfect addition to really show off to your friends and relatives visiting, because you've taken them somewhere that hardly anybody gets to see.
It's also fun because you go down that road that nobody else gets to go down, and even that road has a lot of history to it.
It does. That's the Laura Portal Road, and it is the original road built to start the construction of Hoover Dam on the dam site. And you'll see old pipe systems, you'll see the old dynamite storage bunkers, you'll see the old water filtration system remains, a lot of stuff like that.
And then also the bighorn sheep like to hang out there,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
They do.
So now, doing this, how many times do you do it?
How many times do I do it? I couldn't tell you. Before I ever went to work for the company, I did it 3 times.
Right.
Since then, an example, today I was supposed to do it, but we had a delay in a camera crew that was coming out to film. Yeah. So I would have done it today.
Okay.
But I would say some months I might do it twice, and then I might not do it again for 6 months.
Now, if somebody is going to plan this, you do offer hotel pickup.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. What should they bring to be expected?
All right, well, let me first clarify. We offer hotel pickup for the Black Canyon River Adventure, not the postcard. Okay. That is a drive out only.
All right.
What they should bring?
Yeah.
We usually tell people, okay, you're going to be in the sun.
Definitely.
So you want a hat, sunglasses, screen, whatever you might normally wear to protect yourself from sun. Comfortable shoes. A lot of people think that means flip-flops. I don't really recommend flip-flops because you might be walking over some rocks. Mm-hmm. You might step out of the raft onto some sand, things that could take your flip-flop off.
Right.
So I recommend a closed-toe shoe that you don't mind if it gets damp or wet or sandy. If it's in the warmer part of the year and you think you might want to get in the water, I would recommend a towel. We do carry small towels, but you might want a larger one. I will warn you, the water's cold all year round. It's about 54 degrees all year round, so you're not going to do a lot of swimming. We supply lunch, and we supply water, so those things are taken care of. And of course, we highly recommend a camera.
Got to bring a camera.
Yeah.
And you're really not going to get wet unless you want to get wet.
There is a possibility. It's rare, but just for an example, so you would know, if it's a windy day and the wind's coming at you, that does create a little bit more spray. But what we generally tell people, if you want to get wet, sit at the front of the raft. If you don't, sit at the back by the pilot.
Now, these rafts hold how many people?
We have a couple different sized rafts. The majority of our rafts are Coast Guard ranked for over 40 people, but we top them off at 35.
Okay, so plenty of room. It's very comfortable. It's a leisurely float ride.
It's a leisurely float ride. You can bring a backpack. You can just keep it in your lap so it doesn't get wet. The only thing the national park does ask is that we don't allow glass, styrofoam, or alcohol on our rafts.
Okay, all right.
But there's alcohol at the end at Willow Beach if you're so inclined.
Willow Beach has gone through remodeling or?
Yeah, about, I hate to say it, but I'm going to say about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, the Willow Beach has done is actually a wonderful place. It's got a beautiful little store with nice souvenirs. There's picnic areas, covered picnic areas up and down the river. They rent boats of all different sizes. And during the summer and holiday, they even have a cafe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When does it run?
The rafting tour is 7 days a week, March through November. December, January, and February, we run on Wednesdays and Saturdays only, unless somebody wants to do a private group. We do private groups of 25 or more any day of the week.
For all the times that I have done this tour, I love your guides. They're just, I mean, as a tour guide, folks always go, God, you got the coolest job. No, your guides have the coolest job.
And most of them believe that thoroughly. That's why they do it. It's people don't realize the guides don't just appear down there at 10 o'clock so you can get on the raft and then they spend 3 hours in the river and then they disappear.
Right.
They have to be at Willow Beach 3 hours early. They have to be there at 7 a.m. in the morning so they have time to do all the safety inspections, to make sure all the equipment is ready, to load the boat, and then to get in the boat and bring it upstream from Willow Beach.
Wow.
Then they wait on the passengers, then they put you on it, and then once you're off, they then have to go through and clean the whole thing, refuel the whole thing before they can leave to come home from Willow Beach. So it's a lot harder than it looks, but the reason they do it is because they love it so much. It's all worth it.
Yeah. I mean, the stories they tell, the detail of things that they point out is just fascinating. That you really wouldn't notice if you just were just kayaking down.
Right. And I even before I came with the company, I did the kayaking canoeing part too. And I'm always said I was glad I did the canoeing after I had first done a Black Canyon, because then I knew what to point out to people.
Oh, okay.
And it made me look like I knew, and I wasn't even with the company then.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you do learn a lot and you see a lot of interesting things on the tours that you're not expecting.
It sounds like I'm really trying to push it, but it is an interesting tour. It is a fun, relaxing day.
Yeah.
Coming out of the chaos of Vegas down there, and it's just you, Mother Nature, and a bunch of other people that you become friends with.
Right. Right. And like you said earlier, it really is a hidden gem. It really, really is. I mean, it's just something you can't do in most places, and people just don't know it's here.
Now, you moved from Vegas to Boulder City.
Correct.
Why?
Well, first of all, I've always liked Boulder City. Second of all, I am at heart a small town person.
Yes.
I, grew up in a small town. And then since I started working here, it was just easier than having to drive back and forth to Vegas every day. It's easier to work here where I work, and then I just go to Vegas a few times a month.
Yes. Boulder City, if I didn't own a house and have a family in Henderson, this is definitely where I would live.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually now also on the board of directors for the chamber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've really gotten into living in Boulder City. I enjoy it.
Oh God, the history is awesome. It's just, we're sitting in front of the Bureau of Reclamation's original building, and
correct.
The managers' houses are over there, and you got this big park here, and it's just.
Yeah, this section right here was all done in 1931 when they first started construction.
Wow. This is not. Okay. What are some of the more funnier or strange comments you've had from guests?
Some of I wouldn't say funnier, but one of the ones that I kind of enjoy that we hear a lot is, wow, we had no idea there was something like this 45 minutes from Las Vegas.
Yes.
I do get a lot of that. I do get a lot of but it was the same thing you just said earlier. I can't believe what your guides, what we got from your guides.
Yes.
This information.
Once you get them off the strip, they just cannot imagine this is here.
Right.
It's like, I'm sure as a tour guide, you had the exact same thing where folks are like, wow, you have 7-Elevens. Yeah.
Oh, as a tour guide, where you're strictly dealing with people that are on the strip, I don't know how many times I got, where do the kids go to school? Or where do you shop for groceries at? There's no grocery stores here. I haven't seen a school. And I'm like, because you haven't left the Las Vegas Strip. We don't keep them there.
Yep.
Although we do have a couple grocery stores now, don't we?
Now, yes. No. What are the 3 things every Vegas tourist should do?
Every Vegas tourist should do 3 things. You know, I'd almost have to tell you 4.
Okay.
And the reason being...
Most folks are like that. They're like, just 3?
No, yeah, and here's why. Because everybody knows about the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen the Grand Canyon and you're not planning on coming back again, then you need to see the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Everybody knows about the Hoover Dam, and I happen to be a Hoover Dam fanatic.
Yeah.
I love the Hoover Dam. I think everybody should see the Hoover Dam. Not everybody agrees with me, but I love it. And then, of course, would be Black Canyon River Adventures, because,
Right.
I mean, the Colorado River, come on, how much do you actually get to raft on the Colorado River?
Yes.
It's very rare. But then at the same time, I have to admit, you probably should at least spend one day seeing some of the casinos.
Okay. All right. Yes. My wife hates me when I do this, but she's lived in Vegas for 30 years. She was a dealer at Circus for 8, and then she moved out to Henderson and never really went back on the Strip. So when I met her, I kept talking about Hoover Dam, and she's like, okay, you have a dam, and I've driven over it 100. So what else do you do? And I'm like, you take them in the dam. You can go in the dam? Yes, you can go in the dam. You know, she knew about Red Rock. She knew about Spring Mountain Park, but Valley of what?
I know. And it's funny because mentioned I like to hike. I used to belong to a hiking group. That so many people that joined that hiking group that had lived here forever and never been to Valley of Fire or Red Rock.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the Hoover Dam. Before I became a tour guide, the Hoover Dam was something I avoided. I mean, because even if I travel, it was through Laughlin, because I was not going to get stuck on the traffic on that dam. And then once I became a tour guide, I became so enamored with Hoover Dam that I now have a collection of Boulder Dam stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I've got brochures, I've got ashtrays, I've got salt and pepper shakers, I've got pictures, magazines, all kinds of stuff. I'm now a fanatic of the old dam.
Wow.
And the new dam.
Wow. I just learned recently that the bottom of the dam, it actually has a reservoir for all of the seepage into it, and then whenever they pump it out.
I have to be honest, I don't know. I'd have to ask one of the experts out here, because you hear a lot of stories about the dam that aren't true. I do know there is tons of seepage from the dam.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's tons, so I shouldn't say that.
They don't use the L word.
Right, seepage.
Seepage.
Yep. You see seepage, I know it comes down the dam. It comes down through the spillway tunnels there, so you can see seepage coming out from the other end. I really don't know about reservoir.
I always like it because, especially like after CES, folks just come to CES. They fill up all of the hotel rooms. The tour business drops. Towards the end, people start to leave early, and they bring their wives. And their wives are like, "We're going to go see Hoover Dam." So they get on the tour bus and they got their arms crossed, and they're like, "I've seen the videos. I've seen the pictures. It's a big slab of concrete." And then you come around that first curve, and they are the first ones with their face plastered up against the window, going, "Oh, wow!" Yep, it's a big slab of concrete, dude. And, they're like, "That's beautiful." Yes.
Especially from the Lower Portal Road, when you're coming around that road and coming around that curve, and you get that. I call it the Ansel Adams shot, because that was one of his famous shots. And now with the bridge spread across it, yeah, that's amazing views.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. What, besides Black Canyon River, a hidden gem in Vegas?
In Vegas or around Vegas, because I'm an outdoors person, so of course the obvious Red Rock Canyon, Mount Charleston, Valley of Fire is definitely a hidden gem. Even Willow Beach, of course that's actually in Arizona, is a hidden gem. I'm also a Jeeper, so we've got a lot of cool Jeep trails, a lot of cool places to go explore.
There's a lot of off-road trails out here. People don't seem to realize that, there's a lot of activity off the Strip
and that's the hidden gem of Las Vegas, honestly. Within either 30 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, 4 hours, however far you want to go, you can find non-stop things to do outside of Vegas that have nothing to do with Vegas.
Well, even like here, Boulder City, you've got the old railroad bed that's paved. Can actually ride your bike from
railroad tunnel trails.
Yeah.
And that now is part of, it's like the one that most people think of, it's about 2.5 miles round trip, but it's now actually part of a much longer trail system that goes from Henderson around the lake, in through Boulder City, all the way to the top of the dam. Now you can do, I can't remember, it's like 27 miles.
Yeah.
It's now part of a huge trail, or you can do that 2.5 round trip tunnel that you can take your kids on even.
Yeah,
it's just, yeah.
So there's a lot here. There's a lot here to do other than gamble and. Okay. Favorite Vegas show?
Favorite Vegas show? I don't have a favorite. I can tell you some of my favorites.
Okay.
I do like the circus shows.
Yeah.
I like Le Rev, which is kind of like it. Blue Man Group was always one of my favorite. I like V.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
The one with
the variety show.
Exactly. I really like that because I like the way it does the history of the music of Vegas. And I'm a big fan of Clint Holmes when he plays.
Oh. Yep. Yeah.
And now he does it at the Smith Center. So, yeah.
Well,
so those are some of my favorites over the years.
Favorite Vegas movie?
Believe it or not, I also have a collection of those.
Really? Okay.
I couldn't tell you a favorite. One of them I enjoy, and this show, and the thing is, if you haven't explored these areas, you don't realize you're seeing them, was Cherry 2000 with Melanie Griffith.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know the area, you don't realize where that stuff is being filmed.
Right.
And things like the three-kid mine out of Henderson has a key role in that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a casino in Valley of Fire in that. They're sitting outside the diversion tunnels on the Colorado side of the dam, but they don't show the dam, and you don't know that unless you know the area. So that's really cool.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Let's go back. I mean, I kind of like watching the Colossal Man walk down the strip, tearing the Aladdin's lamp off the top of Aladdin, and then he ends up falling off a Hoover Dam. I don't know if you've ever seen the amazing Colossal Man from the 1950s.
Really?
Yeah. He got a neutron bomb or something like that up in Area 51, or it wasn't called that back then. That's another favorite.
Yeah, I love it. Like I'll be out in Valley of Fire, and I'll have somebody, and they're like, "This looks familiar." I'm like, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
Half a dozen car commercials.
Yeah.
What was the old 60s? The one that the movie set's still there at White Rock Loop.
Oh, okay.
It'll come to me.
Yeah. I always tell the story of when I was growing up, I would watch James Bond, and I'd see the one Diamonds Are Forever,
Right.
Sean Connery. He gets kidnapped, and they're going to kill him by putting him in a pipe that's in a construction project way out in Vegas, and he's in a tuxedo, and you see him coming out of this manhole in this development center in a tuxedo. It's like, noon, and all the construction workers are just totally ignoring him. I'm like, well, you got to notice him.
Yeah, but it's Vegas.
How often do you see a man in a tuxedo coming out of a manhole in the Vegas desert? But now that I live here,
yeah. How many
makes
times do you
perfect
see
sense.
all kinds of things in the grocery store? I mean, Elvis used to show up my kids' softball games all the time because he was the father of one of the kids. T-ball, not softball. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I've seen showgirls in costume in the grocery store.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
you don't even look twice.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's different.
Vegas. Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is locals, we don't go to the Strip unless for work or because we have a relative that insists.
I am probably one of the few people who like to go down on the Strip because I like to people watch.
Right.
And the tourists are probably the best free show on earth. Now, of course, it's not the tourists you're with. It's the other tourists that are really funny to watch.
Right. And we do that. And we do occasionally do staycations where we go to Vegas. We spent last Christmas in Vegas for 2 days.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed at the Link, and we like to eat out at different places. So we went to Giada's, we went to Guy Fieri's, because those were new at the time, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we've done that before. We'll go out for like 2 nights, and we'll tend to gamble a little, but mostly try and hit like 3 good restaurants just because we like food.
I don't like food. How can they get a hold of you if they want more information?
For more information about our tour, our website is blackcanyonadventures.com. Our toll-free number is 1-800-455-3490. And if they have questions about sales or large groups or things like that, setting up accounts, they would want to call me personally at 702-278-0606.
Cool. I appreciate your time and all the wonderful information.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Beth. Boulder City. She loves Boulder City.
Boulder City, Beth.
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody who doesn't like it.
She's like, then she tried to get me on to join the Chamber of Commerce, but that's just, which I might do. So.
Then you'd have to do it for Henderson too.
Yeah, but there's more of a chance in Boulder City because of the bypass and what I can do with the bypass. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Boulder City is nice, but I'm sorry. Anyway.
Gotcha. I understood what you meant.
Cool. All right. That was Beth Carden, Black Canyon River Adventure. Notes and links will be up on the website, which is
thevegastourist.com.
Ooh, you got it right. Yes. Thank you.
Yay, me.
Of course, we're up on Facebook, YouTube. This will be a video from the tour plus your photos, baby.
Yes, my photos.
So you got to get some photos done.
I was working on them.
Okay. All right. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, hit us up. Hit the Ask Mr. Mark button up there, or the contact button, whatever's up on the website. I don't remember anymore.
All the social spots.
All the social spots.
We're out there everywhere.
We will answer your polite questions.
We may answer the other ones, but you may not like the answer.
You may not like the answer, exactly. I'm Mark Anthony. That's Miss Debbie Anthony. This is thevegastourist.com. And until next week, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Any final words, my dear sweetheart?
Nope. Can't wait to see you next week.
Yay! And here's Carl Safe Sacks Ferris to take us out.
It's getting